Hello, beautiful ladies and guys. Welcome back to my channel. And my name is Hadi. So, today's video, I want to talk about the heartbreak that almost took my life, as in, I almost died. So, have you subscribed? Like, you need to subscribe if you have not subscribed, because let me tell you this, my target is to get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of September, and I know that we can do this. Please support the sister out. Smash the like button and subscribe, please. Now let's get right into this video. My single days had its ups and downs. Some relationship lasted more than others, but listen, was one thing I prided myself. I was that girl that could just move from one relationship to another without force. And there were times that I took time off the dating market, but I definitely never sweated over a broken relationship. My motto then was men are like buses, one goes, another comes. And I guess I was in my 20s and I really didn't care that much. I was just living my life like every day, taking care of myself. This is my life, and I only have one life to live. Now, little did I know that life had a curve for me. Now, let me tell you about the heartbreak that almost took my life. You know, when you're in a low place and you just need someone to talk to, a friend, just someone, and the devil will place a demon in your path. And that was what happened to me. I was not looking for a relationship by any means. I was not even looking for friends with benefits. I was in my 30s at this time. I was just in a dark place and I was just living my life, taking every day at a time. And I met this guy actually through a mutual friend, and we're just friends, we're just talking. But one thing led to another. The talking went into a full blown relationship. Now, the worst part of this whole situation was this guy was not even my type. You know what I'm saying? That is why I said, when you are in a place in your life that is kind of, you are vulnerable, the devil will set you up. And I was set up. It was not my type. First, it was a single father with two children, and he had baby mama issues. He also had relationship slash situationship with his on and off girlfriend. Ladies, listen, I I do not do dramas. I don't date single fathers. I have nothing against single fathers, but I just don't date them because they always go back and have sex with their baby mamas. Everybody knows this, and I do not have time for that kind of shit. So I just stay in my lane, if you know what I mean. But I fell for this guy. And was he a sweet talker? Not really. I have a lot of street sense, and I usually know when the guy is sweet talking me. But this guy, I did not see him coming, and I felt hard. And we dated for, I think, for about a year. And that year remains one of the worst year in my life that I ever dated anyone in my adult life. It was a wasted year for me. He used me to like pepper his baby mama's eye. Like, he used me to make her jealous because obviously he still had feelings for her, and he wanted to tell her that I could get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? The jokes was on me. I take my responsibility for that because there were red flags that I should have listened to that I did not. Now, to make matter even worse, to make matter over worse, this guy, this shitty guy, he was the one that broke up with me. And the excuse was like, you are too opinionated for me. Like, what? Shut the door. It was like, you're too opinionated for me, and we are not just hey God, I could not believe my eyes. You know, when you're trying to manage a situation and the situation becomes okay. There was this thing I saw on TikTok when they say you marry an old man thinking, a rich old man thinking the guy will die before you, and you actually die before the guy. That was my situation. You understand what I'm saying? I was managing this guy. This guy was the one that broke the relationship. Hey, my God. Guys. When his relationship broke, and I was like, okay, so because I actually thought he was joking. So I was like, so I can't speak my mind. He was like, no, it's not that, this and this. It was giving me all kind of flimsy excuses. Little did I know that this guy had gone back to his baby mama. Yeah, he did. Because he obviously wanted to make her jealous so she can take him back. And basically that was what happened. Like I said, the joke was on me. But I was heartbroken. When this relationship ended, I locked myself away for about 2 weeks and I was crying my eyes out. That outbreak, yeah, it felt like death. And I was heartbroken for so many reasons. It wasn't just because the relationship ended because it ended. There were other things that made me cry. I was ashamed of myself for letting my guard down and dating this guy in the first place. It was the most difficult heartbreak. And looking back now, I realized I was desperate to be a wife and I was ready to settle because everyone around me at that time, they were getting married. How foolish was I to think that I would allow society pressure to affect me to the extent that I was willing to settle for anything. Like, I cried and cried and cried and cried. I could not go to work. I could not function because I was just ashamed of myself. I felt like, my God, I was used. It's not just like I felt, I was used. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was already in a vulnerable place. And on top of that, my heart was broken on top of the vulnerable place that I was. So it was double wahala for dead body, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, my sisters, there are a few things that I hated about our relationship. And looking back now and reflecting, one of the things that I hated about our relationship when I was mourning that relationship, I'm mourning the loss of my dignity, I'm mourning the loss of basically myself. I noticed that in that relationship, I lost myself. I was basically living to please him and his two kids. My life revolved around him. I was always in his house or he was in my house. I had no time to think, to breathe. And looking back now, I became a pick-me. And I hate to be a pick-me. I still hate it. Even though now I'm with somebody, I'm married, I don't want to be a groupie. I don't put myself in a situation where I am desperate for my husband. I do not. I hardly call my husband. He's the one that calls me. If we speak like 5 times a day, my husband is the one that has called me 4 times. Like, me calling him once is just to say, okay, let him not feel like this woman is like she's trying to take the piece, if you know what I mean. I do not put myself in that kind of, I do not do it anymore. But in that relationship, yeah, I was a pick me. I will only cook food for what the food that he likes and his kids loved. I was desperate for his kids to love me, which they did not. Oh my God, looking back now, I felt like a fool. And another thing that I hated about our relationship was I was celibate. And I was celibate when we got together. And I broke my celibacy because, which was one of the things that made me cry. I did ask God for forgiveness, but I felt dirty. I felt ashamed. I felt like I could not keep one word, just because I needed clarity at that time in my life. And one of the ways that I felt I was going to get it was me being celibate. was me just focusing and just looking onto God. And I couldn't do it for a long time. The first man that came along, I fell. And I was so ashamed of myself. I felt like I disappointed myself. I disappointed God. I disappointed my womanhood. And I guess the relationship was supposed certain flaws that I did not realize that I had, which I have now worked on going forward now in my life as a married person. And another thing I hated about that relationship, looking back, is I gave him my money. Yeah. We all know, never give a man your money. Girl, I know. But I did give him my money because he took my money with the disguise, with the street line, lent me money and I'll pay you back. I know that when a man tells you, let me your money, or just let me 2,000 or blah, 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 I'll pay you back. They don't. Only 1% pays back. They don't pay you back. You understand what I'm saying? I know. But like I said, I don't know, I take responsibility of that rubbish. I did give him my money and he had no intention to pay back. But I gave him wahala, you know what I mean? I gave him trouble. He paid, but he scattered the money. Money that I gave him in a lump sum is like paying the money in bits and pieces. And I couldn't do anything with the money because it just scattered the whole money from my hand, if you know what I'm saying. And another thing I hated about that relationship was I hated myself for falling for his "you are my wife" line. You know that line where you are with a guy and less than a month is already calling you his wife. You see, nobody can deceive you if you are in your clear mind. Obviously, I was not on my clear mind. You know what I'm saying? Because why would somebody be calling me my wife? You know, introduces me to people like, this is my wifey, and I do not have a ring. You understand what I'm saying? We just started dating, and I got carried away. I was so pissed with myself when that relationship ended. Wow, how could I have fallen for that line? Like, that line is a line that everybody knows is a bullshit line. But I did fall for God. It's just, I should have known better. I should have known better in that relationship, but I did not know better. And I guess now I do not judge people anymore. It has given me the ability for me to show empathy to people who are in a relationship and dating those things. Because sometimes they might just have been in a dark place where they met this person and now they are stuck, and you are saying like, this guy is not worth your time, and they're not listening. They just can't see it. You know, I used to judge, but when it happened to me now, when it did happen to me, I don't judge anymore. I just know that time will heal. Just leave this person. They will see when they want to see. Now, let's talk about some of the things I learned from that relationship. That relationship made me cry for weeks. I cried because I allowed myself to be played by someone who was not supposed to play me. I cried because I wasted my time. Time I would have used to concentrate on myself, concentrate on my life, and maybe probably meet someone else that would have treated me better. Now, a few things that relationship actually taught me. Never allow a man close to you, especially when you are in that vulnerable place. Do not get close to any man. If you feel like you need support from people, lean on your friends, lean on your family instead. Please don't. If you are in a vulnerable place, 90% out of 100, every time you might date the wrong person. Somebody that will take advantage of you, somebody that will take advantage of your vulnerability. Do not get close to anyone when you are in a vulnerable place in your mind. Now, another thing I learned from that relationship was be wary of men who call you wifey without the ring. Men who, like I said, men who introduce you to everyone and they tell everyone, this is my wifey. I, boy, please, I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? As in, that relationship, yeah, even though it almost like took my life, when I met my now husband, yeah, there were so many things I did not tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Even when he said, oh, I want to marry, I'm like, boy, let me see the ring first. I don't have time for this foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? When you are ready to marry, go and tell your family to go and see my family. You understand? I don't have time for this. You are my wife. I want to marry you. Blah 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 talk. You understand? You want to be enjoying me. You are not going to enjoy nothing. Go and do the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because that relationship, it showed me shege banza. You understand? If you're a Nigerian, you know what I mean by shege banza. Like, it showed me pepe. Anyway, another thing I learned from that relationship is never let a man into your space too early. Know them more. And when you do, yeah, be strong enough to pull back if they're taking over your life. Because that was what this guy did with me. You understand me? He didn't give me a breather. He didn't give me time to see that I was in a cage. I was in a rubbish relationship. I had too much time on my hands. Like I said, I was in a dark place. I was just kind of, and it just swept me off my feet with foolishness, lies, and it just took over my life, basically. I had no time to step back and look from outside to say, okay, let me reevaluate this relationship. Let me reflect. I had no time to reflect. If you feel like a guy is trying to like bombard you with, oh, let's see every day, listen, my sister, be strong enough to pull back and say, give me some space. Girl, you are single until he commits to you. You are a free agent. Don't let anyone to be bombarding you. They won't give you space for somebody else to even talk to you. Don't waste your time and put all your eggs in one basket. You understand? That 1 year in my life, till today I regret it because it was a year that I wasted trying to make a man like please him and his kids, not knowing that it was in situationship on top of situationship. Be strong enough to walk away from a situationship when it doesn't serve you, which I could not do. Like I said, I was vulnerable. I did not have the strength. I did not have the wills. Do not compromise your values for no man. I hated myself for compromising and saying yes to things I would normally have said no to. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we'll quarrel, we'll have arguments in a relationship, and it will make me feel small. It will make me feel like a troublemaker. It will make me feel like I talk too much, like I'm sounding like a man, just because I do not agree with you, just because I have an opinion about a matter. It made me feel like I felt in that relationship like something was wrong with me, like I am my problem. I am the problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could not express myself. I could not speak. Even when we argue sometimes, or when I see something I need to say, I'll just keep quiet. I lost myself because I didn't want to come across as a troublemaker. Because he was this kind of quiet guy, or he comes across as a very quiet, calm person, which he is not. So basically, I am the kind of person that is very vocal. Like, I like to talk. I'm very friendly. I like to, especially when I'm passionate about something, my tone goes up. It's not because I'm arguing, but I like to, the Nigerian in me just come out, you understand? And I think it rubs off sometimes wrongly or negatively on some people. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody will like you, which I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So people were like, okay, oh, this your guy is so quiet. And they were seeing me like the demon. Even when the relationship ended, there were some people who still felt like I was a troublemaker. I was the one that was full of shit. He was a good guy. Oh, he was a saint, which he was not. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to be explaining to people why a relationship didn't work. This is actually the first time I'm even talking about it, because I just felt, okay, let me talk about this on my channel, because one person might learn from one thing that I might say. So never ever compromise your values for any man. Never compare yourself. Another thing I hated about that relationship, or something I learned from that relationship, was never compare yourself or allow the pressure of society to force you to settle. Take your time, my sister. Marriage is not for everyone. And besides, it's better to marry late than to marry loser. Because I was ready to settle down with someone that didn't like me, someone that made me feel small, somebody that didn't even give a shit about my life, all just because I wanted somebody in my life. Anyway, dear ladies, let me hear you on the comment section. Have you been with somebody like this where you felt like you were not yourself all through the relationship? Have you had a bad break that almost took your life? Let's talk on the comment section below. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like my video. And I'll see you on my next one. Adios.